I've been MIA the past few months, but it actually kind of feels more like 6 months because of the big trip we did over the summer and I wasn't really on YouTube, and I owe you an explanation. First off, well, we were traveling for those 3 months, but the last few months, part of it is because I am starting my own business and it is requiring a lot of my time and a lot of my energy, and I have to kind of focus on that. Another thing is just life and kids, right? You have to put them first as well. And after I get the kids out to school in the morning, I then spend the next few hours kind of doing like work stuff. And then after that, about 10 a.m., I've been pretty much horizontal on the couch and walking around like a zombie trying to take care of the two that are home. And that's because we are expecting. Our 5th baby is on the way. And as I round out this first trimester, officially in the 2nd trimester now, and finally have enough energy to not just like be lounging and surviving, I finally will be able to be back and hopefully get in a good routine to keep sharing. So that is where I've been. This first trimester has been extremely roller coaster of emotions. I'm gonna share kind of the recap here in a minute of how the first trimester has gone. Not great, and I'm happy I'm here. I'm happy I'm on the other side, but we are ecstatic. I could not be happier. We are so excited to be welcoming another little one to this crazy chaos over here, and just excited to now share it as well. So here is the recap to trimester 1. So guess what? A couple weeks ago, I found out I'm pregnant with baby number 5, and I'm super excited. So today we're going to do a heartbeat check. Let me back up a little bit. Last week, when I was about 6 weeks pregnant, I was talking to my midwife. I was like, you know, around 6 weeks, I usually start having issues. Can I just come in? We'll do a blood draw, see if progesterone is sitting well, like see if I need to start supplementing early to try to avoid some issues that I've had in the past. She said, of course. We did blood draws, but we could not detect heartbeat on ultrasound. But you always can't at 6 weeks that early. So I am remaining positive, even though I'm extremely anxious. And I'm like, now that it's time for the appointment today, I'm starting to get a little bit like shaky because I'm anxious. But actually, blood work came back from last week and HCG looks good, progesterone looks good. So I'm staying pretty optimistic. I did have slight bleeding 5 weeks and 6 days, at least according to my timeline, but I haven't had any since then, so I'm hoping it was just a one-off fluke, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that we get a heartbeat today. Do you see that flicker there? That strong little flicker? This little one has a strong heartbeat the size of a little sweet pea, not even 1/4 of an inch. So hard to believe that it even is like detectable on this thing. So happy, it has a little heartbeat. Okay, it has been a couple weeks now, still in first trimester. At the time of filming this, right now I am about 10 weeks along, but there has been a lot that has happened. It has been a very rough few weeks, so I just kind of want to backtrack a little bit. So the heartbeat check, everything was good. That was 6.5 weeks. Then about 12 days later, so I was about 8 weeks, 2 days, I was going to meet my friend and I just went to the bathroom real quick before I left, and I had a ton of bleeding and I was panicking. If you are like not caught up on my story, I have miscarried twice, and I have had bleeding and threatened miscarriages and been put on complete bed rest and just had a lot of issues with my previous to like living. So the past 4 pregnancies that I've had have all been not very great in the beginning, and I'm at like a 50-50 chance of keeping them. I've lost 2 and I've kept 2. So this time I was really hoping to avoid that, and it seems like I'm just down the same exact rabbit hole. It has been a complete roller coaster. It has been so emotional. I have been in so, like, my headspace is just a wreck. We specifically weren't telling our kids that I was pregnant until we were trying to wait till 12 weeks because of just the chance of miscarriage and previous, you know, issues, and it affects them a lot if they find out and then we lose it. So anyway, this particular day where I had a lot of bleeding, I was panicking. I called my midwife and I was like, you know, this is the situation, I'm panicking. And she was like, just come see me. I will fit you in and we're gonna see what's going on. Like, it's better to know one way or the other. So she was able to see me that day. We went in, I was on such pins and needles, and we did a little ultrasound, and baby was moving around, had a great strong heartbeat still, and things looked okay. So of course I like immediately broke down into tears. I was just overjoyed that things were okay, although still like, why is this happening again? But that day I had Rosemary with me, and she heard my midwife say baby and heartbeat, and she just was so extremely happy. And I'm crying, and she was like, why are you crying? This is so happy, there's a baby. And I was like, oh, sometimes you're just so happy you start crying. And so then she was crying, we were both crying, we were so happy. And of course that day the kids came home from school, and the first thing Rosemary said was, you know, told them the news. So everybody knows now, everybody's very excited, and we're hoping for the best. So far since then, like after that day, I did bleed a little bit more throughout the day, but then I didn't have any bleeding at all. And then 4 days later, then it happened, and that would have put me at, I think, 9 weeks exactly. So there we had it again. So just this roller coaster of like having it, being in a horrible headspace, then a few days go by and everything seems fine, and I'm like, okay, like maybe that was just nothing, and then it happens again. And I have no correlation if like I'm very active that day, maybe it's happening, but that's not the case. Like, it's not seemingly connected to anything, which is, you know, hard for me to fix if I don't know why it's happening. I am now, so I haven't gone back to see her again. I had an appointment in 2 weeks after that 9-week mishap, but I then, like, I think maybe 7 days went by, and then I started bleeding again. So that was 10 weeks, and now I'm like 10 weeks and 2 days. It's hard to keep exactly track, you know, but basically I'm 10 weeks and 2 days now, I think. Yes, 10 weeks, 2 days. Excited to have made it this far. I have been tired, and I've been a little emotional. Like, I woke up the other night and just started crying, and I've had some cravings. So those things tell me that I'm hoping that my hormones are still, you know, flying through the body, and I'm really hopeful then that things are okay because I'm still having symptoms. But then there are other days where I feel great, like don't feel like I have any symptoms. So then my headspace, instead of being like, oh, thankfully, like I have some reprieve today, it's like, wait, but is everything okay? I'm like, so I get anxious because I'm like, why don't I feel anything? So it's just this constant battle of mental craziness. I am bloated. That's another thing. I have been so bloated this pregnancy, and I'm not even going to show you, but I look like 16 to 20 weeks pregnant already at 6 weeks. I did, because just I was so bloated. So that's not been very fun. But other than that, I go tomorrow to see my midwife, and I asked her if we could just move up the appointment a little bit because I'm getting very anxious. And we're going to do blood again just to make sure everything looks okay blood work wise. We'll probably take a peek at baby, make sure strong heartbeat, and then check for subchronic hemorrhage, check for previa, I think that's what it's called, placenta previa. Just check for some other things to try to figure out why I'm having this bleeding. I was reading that sometimes if you've had previous miscarriages and bleeding before, maybe you are at an increased chance of having it in subsequent. So I'm going to ask her about that. Maybe she has information about that. I don't know. But yeah, just wanted to do a quick update This first trimester has just been all over the place. So that's the update for now, and I'll be back tomorrow. I'm just getting home from my appointment with my midwife, and everything looked so good. The baby was moving so well in the little ultrasound we did, even waved and was jumping all over the place. So everything is looking really good. Still do not know where like the bleeding has come from. She again reiterated that there's nothing inside the sac that says there's blood coming from there. So we don't know if it's subchorionic hemorrhage or just something else or what, but yeah, we just don't know. We did go ahead and do blood work because I'm nervous about progesterone, so we did blood work, and while she was doing that, she had a little extra blood, and she was like, should we do a sneak peek? Do you want to know? And I was like, really threw me for a loop. I've never done that before. 5th kid, like, I always wait till the 20 week, and I said yes. So we could potentially be finding out in the next 24 to 48 hours what we're having, which is just wild. But anyway, really happy with today's appointment. I am going back in 2 weeks again because I am having the active bleeding like every couple days, and my lab work should be back. So gonna get lab work and then gonna go back in 2 weeks. I'm officially 11 weeks now, and unfortunately since the appointment I have had a lot more bleeding. I'm trying to stay very positive, but it's really hard. This just first trimester for me is so anxiety ridden. It's constantly on my mind. It's the only thing I can think about. It just, it's so hard. Anyway, I got my blood work back and I just got off the phone with my midwife, and my progesterone levels, while they are still in the technically normal range, they are going down from where they were at 6 weeks significantly. So going the very wrong direction, and we're gonna start supplementing. We had a little trip, sorry. So yes, we are gonna supplement progesterone now until 16 weeks and go from there. The day I've been waiting for, I am 12 weeks, 4 days. I am headed in for my 12-week appointment. To be honest, the last week, my head has been a mess. Like, just an absolute mess, anxiety ridden. Just, I'm waking up in the middle of the night from like nightmares of miscarriage. Like, just an absolute disaster of a mindset the last like little bit. So I've been really looking forward to today, just to hopefully get like a great appointment and let go of some of the anxiety in my head. So I'm like excited and really nervous and everything all at the same time, and I'll see you here in a bit. Just got out of the appointment and everything is perfect. I was even hydrated in this appointment, so that was great. I have a problem with that sometimes. Everything looked great. There was strong heartbeat. We actually did do an ultrasound again just to like make sure everything was still good since there have been so many issues, but everything looked great. I was able to feel the movement that I saw happening. I've had a couple of moments where I'm like, was that a baby movement? Was that a kid? Like, where I just didn't know. It's kind of like unsure, and it still seems a little early to have movement. And I thought potentially that she said last time that I might have had an anterior placenta, which would make that movement harder. So I was very like, I don't know, maybe it's not, maybe it is. But I was able to feel a kick when the baby kicked on the ultrasound. So that just kind of was reassuring to know that what I'm feeling is baby, and that's so exciting. And just helps me relieve that anxiety. I feel like I have just let out so much stress from my body from this appointment. I went in there kind of like sweating and shaky, and I am no longer sweating. I am not like kind of shaking. I just feel pretty good. I really needed that appointment. So this is probably going to be the last video in this series. The first trimester is officially ending / ended. I don't know, some people 12, some people 13. This is right in the middle, so I'm going to say this is the end of first trimester. I am kicking off second trimester. So we will have a different slew of videos. This time it came out in my favor. I'm above 50% now. Like I said earlier, like this is the 5th time that this has happened, and I've lost 2 babies and I have kept 2 babies. So this is now the 3rd one that so far is keeping, and I'm above 50, and I am just so relieved. And this emotional roller coaster, I'm sure, has more to come, but I just feel so much better right now than I did an hour ago before this appointment happened. So for anybody else who might be going through this, it is so hard. I totally can relate. It doesn't matter how many kids you have, how many you don't have. Every single pregnancy is so precious and causes so many emotions. It's just, it doesn't matter. I am kind of with you here and can so relate to those feelings that you may or may not be having. Definitely a roller coaster of a first trimester, and hopefully much more smooth sailing from here on. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for kind of being with me on this journey of pregnancy and baby number 5. I will see you next time.